We're not going to 3, 2, 1 blast off yet, but we're getting there. We're getting there, and man, what a week! What a week! It's been a terrible week, and I don't want to talk about terrible things as far as the world goes, but just acknowledge that world needs to be a nicer place. Before we started to hit the recording button here, we were talking about our faith and the power of people, good people, and how it's had a great effect on our lives, and and even when things weren't going right, it had a great effect on our lives. So anyway, with all that's going on in the world right now, we were kind of relating just a tad to that it's really the power of people and the power of good hearts that will turn the world around.
Surround yourself with good people.
Yeah. And Eric said he has been married longer than he's been single, and I just did the quick math, and I need 2 more years, and we'll all have been married longer than Courtney and I's first date. So
let me figure that. I got married at 28, and I've been married for 32 years. So
yeah, that's more.
Let me do this math.
Oh, that is more. Thank you for
that's pretty easy math there, Chip.
Well, derp.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, 0.
You're listening to the Knives Templars.
I got a piece off of the wagon that Sam Houston used to take JFK to the moon.
Pinto sauce. I like that. Pinto sauce.
Pinto sauce.
You're tuned in to the Knives Templars podcast, featuring Jason Fry.
Yeah, I've been just been doing what we do.
Long time listener, first time caller.
Eric T.R.E. Rivers.
Holy crap, I built something.
Mark Vasallo.
There would be a lot of places I would launch my shelf to.
Chip Carlisle.
We've had a raccoon come through the screen door down in the family room.
Kyle Daly, Cage Daily Knives, the Knives Templars.
Josh Varan.
I was a mean kid.
And now broadcasting across planet Earth, it's the Knives Templars coming to you live from
PORKHouse Studios
located in
Hartsville, Alabama.
This is the
Knives Templars podcast.
We are on air, on demand, and heard
worldwide.
On all of your favorite
podcasts and at theknivestemplars.com. Your radios weren't mixed up. I was seeing if I still knew the script, and I was talking with it there. So if
I figured you're just giving it some reverb.
Yeah, it's like if I ever have to do any like Milli Vanilli stuff, I just wanted to make sure I can be in line with the audio. So it looks pretty good. I was watching Van Halen on YouTube this week singing, what is that? In the Cradle We'll Rock, in the Cradle. And I was like, man, he is so bad at doing American Bandstand. Y'all know what American Bandstand is? Probably.
Yeah.
Okay. They were on American Bandstand back like 81, 82 singing that song. And it was like, he was probably so stoned he couldn't do it for number one, and number two, it was just bad lip syncing. So I was just making sure that I was up on my skill sets as we go there. Guys, this is Chip Carlisle, and this is a knife making podcast. We call ourselves the Knives Templars. And we have tonight with us the great Kyle Daly, who is he's a stereo man. He's like in dual band. He's like Knives, Templars, Knife Perspective. As a matter of fact, I'll ask you, I saw your eyes when I do your little audio cut into the opening there, and it's like Kyle Daly, Knife Templars. Is that one okay, or do I need to look for something better?
Yeah, it's up to you. It doesn't bother me.
I like it. Because we were also looking online today and saw that Knife Perspective was in number 1 this week. And I don't know if these guys ever check it. I always check search engines from different sources and reset cache and all that, see where they're coming up. And good old Blades, man, I'll tell you what, I don't know what he's doing with search engine optimization, but that guy's a killer. He's got a good podcast, but man, it's just very hard. And I saw Kyle Daly, Knife Perspective, was number 1 today, and I was number 3. So I'm on the podium with you this week, but man, it was nice to see you still climbing in the charts as you are. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm not sure what we did any differently, but I should have another episode coming up tomorrow.
I told you I sent an email to Google this week and asked them to please put you at number 1 this week. So Just wanted to lift you up with a little fellowship.
Thank
and
you.
I'm sure you believe that. I'm sure you believe that.
Yeah.
And we've got the Rivers Experience dude with us tonight. Man, I tell you what, Eric, I'm used to seeing these new videos, and you've got like Fabio hair, kind of coming down. It's like you should be doing, beauty commercials with all the hair. And that, you put it up, and there you go. Now you're pulling it out. I was going to say, when you've got it pulled back like that, and you look like Eric of old. So when you bring it down, I'm digging the new hair. What's the world think about this? Starting with your wife.
I've always had long hair. It was the last few jobs that I've had that they forced me to cut it, and
signs everywhere. Signs. Yeah. No, go ahead.
So what was with? Why did they make you cut the long hair?
It was for being a sales professional or being professional. Like they were very, very, very old school. You had to have, clean shaven, short hair. They wanted a specific mold for everyone to fit in because they thought that if you had any type of tattoos or you had any type of different hair or anything like that, that they would lose sales. So you could not have long hair. And
even the lady salespeople?
They could have long hair, but they could not show if they had tattoos on like their legs or something like that, or on their ankles, they had to wear dresses or pants. And they really didn't like them to wear pants. They would prefer them to wear dresses if they were sales ladies. And that's if they even allowed them to work there. Because most of them, they were just sales guys because they were afraid they were going to get sued because of all the jokes that all the salesmen unprofessionally made all the time.
Yeah, I walked into the I shouldn't say this. I walked into the Playmate of the Month wall at where I worked today. I was like, huh. Boy, I don't know how that would work in corporate America these days, but I just turned around and went the other way. It was in a closed room, and it was where they keep the welding stuff and all this and the other. But I was like, huh. Oh, I'm sorry. They were clothed. They were clothed. They were like the old, really small bathing suits and stuff. But so it wasn't Playboy.
At least they were
pictures.
clothed
It was
because, where I go to get the Porsche or the BMW serviced, it's a German autocraft place. They have the Playmate of the Month wall, and they are not clothed. And,
is Playboy still a thing?
I think so.
I think it is. I think it's like one of the family members runs it, or sons or grandsons, or
my dad still has like a pinup lady on the back of his garage door. He confiscated it from one of his 7th graders back when I was like in elementary school, and he put it on the back of the.
He's keeping up there because he's letting it age so that it's going to become worth something. You are going to be on Antiques Roadshow someday holding that up on PBS for going, how much is it worth? How much is it worth? Man, look at this red dot on my nose that people can't see. I'm fighting off Rudolph syndrome. I get once a year that kind of comes up right there. And man, you get one too?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. What I need to put on that to make it go away? I'm trying not to pick at it.
I usually try to do like a hot shower and kind of like clean out all the pores. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm not very good at a skincare regimen. My wife tries to get me to use some of her stuff.
Squeeze it till it erupts, and then I've got an open sore on the end of my nose, and everybody's going, Rudolph. So anyway, did you see those Jason Knight knives he's been put out on social media the past day or so? A series of knives. I guess he's done them over years, but a lot of buoys and stuff. I'm just like, they were just gorgeous knives.
I must have missed them.
Yeah, he's got like some reels or stuff playing where he's holding the knives, and they're not anything ultra.
What are they on?
I think I saw them on Facebook. I think I saw them on Facebook and reels. They're not anything like ultra spectacular Kyle Royer type. What do you call it? All the fancy work. They're basic, but typical Jason Knight style. They're very classy looking, and just very nicely finished. His handle work is just wonderful. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
His like traditional buoys. You know, those are what I call ABS.
yeah.
ABS buoys. And
But they got like the forged bevels, and he does his traditional like
no,
Jason
these
Knight.
are all the
These are
ones
all
that I'm
ground
looking at
out.
right now
Yeah.
are all ground.
Oh,
It's no
are you looking at
brute to forge.
Yeah.
Jason underscore Knight underscore knives?
No, this is on his Facebook.
Oh,
Just
I'm
look on his
looking on
Facebook page.
Instagram.
They're probably forged in surface ground, and then because those guys like to forge to shape, which is good. I mean, I was forging this past weekend, but they're probably surface ground, and then they're just made in that typical ABS style, but just very classy lines, very classy, clean knives, and the things that people aspire
Now,
to be.
this is one thing you'll know about Jason Knight. So he, in his little post that he did right here, it's designs I made popular from 2008 to 2012, still in fashion, today. So if you make a Jason Knight style knife,
Right.
and let's say you made it, but you thought you came up with something unique on it, and you show that to Jason Knight and say, "Look at this knife I came up with," he will tell you, "Oh, that's cool. That's one of my profiles. It's a good job. You did a good job making one of my knives."
Well, it's hard to deviate and make anything like that super special because they're so classic and clean. Yep. Anybody that makes there's a lot of different style buoys, don't get me wrong, but that's a very classic ABS style knife, and I think if you're into that, that's what you're going to come up with.
What I'm talking about is those the big booties on the handles.
Yeah,
big,
the pommel on the back of them. Yeah,
and like the kind of kukri-ish, recurve buoys and stuff like that. Like
his handles.
Now, if you have drinks with him, he'll talk about this stuff and how he thinks it's funny when people come up to him and will have a knife that's based on his design and say, "Look at this thing I came up with," or "this design that I came up with," and he's like, for a fact that you watched a video of mine, and that's
of course,
made you design that knife.
Yeah, actually, I told him last time I saw him, he was at Batson's. He was nice, and we were sitting and talking for 15, 20 minutes. Got his phone number, said, "Call me, be on the show sometime." So I guess we ought to eventually call him.
It's nice. He's
the intimidation factor of calling him, I guess, is why I haven't thus far. But we will call him. He's down to earth with a wild side. You know what I mean?
Speaking of that, talk to him about flat Earth.
Talk to him about flat Earth theory.
Don't actually do it.
Don't
actually do it.
Oh, flat Earth.
Yes, he's
Is he a flat earther?
He'll go on a rant.
Does he believe in the flat Earth?
He's got some interesting beliefs about several.
Oh gosh, that just kills me. Well, anyway, everybody's entitled to their own opinion without fear of retribution.
I used to not give very many conspiracy theories much credence. It's like amazing how many have been like being proved true here recently.
That's true, but how do you fly around the world and get to the other side on a flat Earth? I don't know.
Magic.
Yeah,
magic.
All the other planets are round, but this one's flat.
Right.
So,
and we've seen this one from outer space. It's just we've gone around it.
Have we?
Exactly. I was listening. Did you listen to Joe Rogan this week with Carrot Top?
No.
Carrot Top's dad was an engineer with NASA and taught the guys how to drive the moon buggy before they went up there. And he was telling about his dad's experience with people who were naysayers about all that, and how his dad, that made him violently angry. I don't think he attacked anybody, just really
now that they've not just proven the fact that what you saw in the video for the moon landing wasn't real, because people actually came out and said that the whole point behind that was because they couldn't get the footage for it, so they did film like a B-roll style footage of it in a hangar and stuff. They did all of that because you wouldn't be able to get clear shots. And
Okay, I have one question, guys. Did we go to the moon or not?
I believe that we did.
I was sitting there
we
watching it on TV, but again, I could have been duped. I was what?
There's
I
no
remember
way
watching it 5 years old. Yeah.
there's no way on earth that you could have watched it on TV because the signals and stuff like that that they would have had to have had back then, they did not have. They barely have it now.
Well, the signal that came back, and here's the thing that I've heard in the past. The signal that came back hit a relay station in New Zealand, and then was shot back up and then came over to the United States. And I don't know what the delay was or this, that, and the other, but I don't really care about this. If you want me to be totally honest with you, all I want to tell you all is that the Patterson-Gimlin film is real, and that is a real Sasquatch, and there's no arguing about it. I don't care about space. Sasquatch is real. Matter of fact, a moment of silence for Dr. Jeffrey Meldrum, who passed away today with a brain tumor. He was 67 years old, and he was one of the world's leading Sasquatchers. He was a anthropologist at Idaho State University, and has been in the field of Sasquatch and that for many, many years. And anyway, he was just someone I truly respected in the field of Sasquatch, whether you believe or not. He was an anthropologist among all things. But yeah, he passed away today.
The field, I'm sorry to hear that, but the field of Sasquatch.
Well, he was the field of anthropology, but he was a believer in Sasquatch, and he knew many of the original people, Green and Blumenthal, and all those other people that you always talking about the original five, I think they call them, that really have studied that over the years, and he's the last one that was surviving. And at 67, he passed away, and that leaves Cliff and Bobo. And Bobo was not very impressive, just so you know.
But Cliff and Bobo sound like people who
go out
and do Sasquatch. Now, I think that this is awesome because I'll tell you right now, the bravery that you have to walk into the woods and make noises to try and get some 8-foot tall, huge thing to come say hi to you is you just got to have some big brass ones in order to decide to do that voluntarily.
Well, I do have big brass ones, and and I will tell you, I've told my 1978 story a couple times, and I don't need to tell it again unless somebody needs to hear it. But I can tell it to you off the air. But there's a reason certain people believe. People would like to believe. A lot of people would like to believe he's real. Some people have had experiences that they can't explain otherwise.
So a lot of people know that I'm super into Star Wars, and in the filming of the Return of the Jedi, Chewbacca, when they were filming in the Redwood National Forest for the moon of Endor, he was
raped by a Sasquatch.
No, he had to be the actor, when he was in his suit, had to be escorted 24/7 with people with like bright vests and stuff on, because they thought he might get shot by somebody thinking they bagged the Sasquatch.
I can agree with that 182%. Yeah, it's very good that he had that. But people that don't believe, that's just fine. I believe in God and faith and all that, and people that don't, that's fine too.
So the way I look at it is, whether people believe in it or not, it made a really cool maker's mark on your knives.
It also sells a lot of knives.
Like I actually really like your maker's mark with the whole Sasquatch thing and all that. It turned out cool.
It's interesting because I thought about changing it at one point in time, and everybody said, no, don't do that. I was just going to put Shegman on there. So I think that it just has to stay now. But all that being said, Sasquatch and the Bible are two of the most marketed and sold things in the world. Certainly Sasquatch in the United States, but Sasquatch is, if you look up just Bigfoot and look at all the product offerings, it's got it on there, in addition to just trinkets and stuff. It's interesting. So, but I had an experience that led to it. So I'm organic.
Organic.
An OG.
So is Sasquatch.
Yes, organic. Had another experience in the forest years later, but I'm objective enough that I can't say that was just instinct. It was just a mind gone. It was noises. It was a Class B experience, not a Class A sighting, which I did have in '78. So, with that being said, there's some doubt in that. It could have just been something else. I almost had a third one I have to tell you about, though. We were in the Sipsey Wilderness in 2016. It's been sorry, this is my 10th story, Kyle. And we heard something, pow, off the trees at night. Pow. It's just tree banging, tree knocks. And I was telling my friend Cody, you hear that? You know what that is? Oh my gosh, Cody, it's tree knocks. You hear that
tree banging?
And we took some trees that we had, some firewood that we had, and that we were banging off trees, and they were answering back. I didn't sleep good all night long. As a matter of fact, something was walking up and down the creek that night, and I'm freaking out. We're sleeping in hammocks. Not freaking out to the point I'm about to run off and all, but I didn't sleep well. I get up the next morning, and I go down to the creek to refill my water and kind of investigate what I was hearing. And I saw that there was a fish called a red horse, and it was spawning season, and they spawn at night, and they were, going up the river kind of like how salmon do here in Alabama, and they were making a lot of splashing. As a matter of fact, there were schools of them running up that morning, not doing the splashing, but schools of them in the river. So I laughed that off, and then we walked about a quarter mile down the trail, down into a gully, and there was a kid down there with one of those 18-inch long baseball bats you can get at baseball games as, souvenirs. And he had been down there beating that off a tree or something. So, see, debunked.
That's what I was going to say, is that there was another campsite hearing the same noises.
Yeah.
And they were going, that's got to be Sasquatch.
Yeah.
And all it was y'all also hearing Sasquatch. And y'all were like communicating to each other.
Yeah.
As both Sasquatches.
Yeah.
And that is hilarious.
I had my 18-foot beard at that time, or 18-inch beard at that time. So I'm sure I look like a Sasquatch when we made eye contact, a Sasquatch in glasses and an Osprey pack. But yeah.
It's like, Dad, you'll never believe me. I was down there banging this bat on this tree, and I saw it. 2016 marked the day that I saw it.
Well,
and, that's going to be his story.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you just have to enjoy life and go with it. I did have the experience in 1978. The other ones I can't really explain, but I can explain this to you. If you go out to tr-maker.com, you sell you Diz as one of the greatest knife tool makers. It actually makes knives for watchmakers, automotive, and a lot of different tools. So if you want to see all of that specifically for us, those knife making tools, go to tr-maker.com and see what he has to offer. You're going to see he's an Istanbul turkey, but I'm going to tell you, I've ordered on a Friday and had it at my door on a Monday. He uses DHL. He pays the extra money to get it to your door wherever it's going in the world. Wonderful products, wonderful service, wonderful man. tr-maker.com. There you go.
Heck yeah.
So I guess we want to talk a little bit about what we got going on. I'm working all the time. I'm still working on 2 knives. I got to get a handle on one. And I've been debating handle material. These are for my guild submissions. And so I'm starting now I'm not going to go again until June. So it'll be next June on a Thursday. And with that being said, I finally decided on material. I've got some burlap micarta. It's kind of a maroon, and I've been wanting to stay with natural woods and this, that, and the other. And I thought, you know what? Let's get a little funky. So I've got some burlap micarta, and I test finished a piece of it. And I like the way it finished. So I'm going to put that on the one that you guys have seen that you haven't seen it personally. Josh Ferran and Mark have seen it personally last weekend. But it's the kind of like, I call it like the Joey Terrio style knife. I was influenced by Joey Terrio, and I'm going to put that on there. And then I've got a what's going to be about a 13-inch buoy when I'm done, total length, that I'm started, and I'll say that that's Jason Knight influenced because he makes big buoys. I cannot lie, and but I've got a large piece, a block of a cream paper micarta that I may use that for a handle on that. So that's what I got going on right now. I like dusty shops, so I'll go with paper micarta.
Have you ever used any crosscut Westinghouse canvas?
I have not.
That's my favorite.
Huh.
Yeah.
I may know somebody you can get a few pieces from.
Is it terribly expensive?
No.
Oh, good. Well,
not for you.
Well, let me know where I can get some from, and I do want to pay the going rate because I don't want to take advantage of people's good nature.
Yeah. I've got about 800 pounds probably.
Oh, you're that guy. That's right. I remember. You're the one that's got the truckload of that. So yeah. Let's talk about a block later on and see what we can do. What color is it?
So it's canvas, but the stuff I have is it patinas to this really dark chocolate, like a high, like 90% cocoa dark brown.
That sounds nice.
Looks super cool. I've had lots of people argue with me that it's wood, and I'm like, it's definitely not wood.
Well, I can tell you, I do want some of that, and I want to pay for shipping, handling, and the material. What do you use to cut? Do you have a tabletop saw?
I've got a bandsaw, I've got a swag table, and for most of that stuff I use my table saw with a 6-tooth Hardy blade.
Yeah.
So it's a polycrystalline diamond to cut the really thick canvas micarta.
I was thinking about buying a table saw, and I don't want to spend a lot of money. And tell me if I'm wrong here. Can I, for what I would use it for, just cutting blocks? I'm not ever going to do anything else at this time. If I do, I'll get a different saw. I don't have room for anything else. But just to get a small, whether it be Harbor Freight or a Ryobi or whatever, just a small table saw with a sliding gate on it, I guess, so that you can adjust your width.
You just need a good saw blade. Having a good saw does help, but having a good blade and the ability to make things square so that it doesn't bind, then you're good. But you can make your own sled. You can do all that stuff. But
so if I just go out to Harbor Freight and buy a table saw, just put a good blade in it.
Let's back up a second. Are you wanting to use it for phenolic or wood?
Yes.
So if you're wanting to get something that's inexpensive to cut your G10 and micarta and stuff, I would suggest the tile cutting saw. A lot of people are really liking that, and it doesn't take up a lot of room. And those are even a fairly high quality one, I think, is like under $300.
You can get them cheap off of Amazon, but you can get them at Harbor Freight too.
Like I said, like a high end one is probably $300. But the nice thing about that is they're water cooled and they help keep that dust and stuff from going everywhere also. But if you're wanting to use it for wood, a table saw would definitely be the way to go. And I would highly suggest keeping an eye out on Facebook Marketplace. I would highly recommend getting one that was a 10-inch diameter, that uses a 10-inch diameter blade. Otherwise, you lose a lot of height when you're cutting and splitting blocks.
Well, if I wanted to do phenolic, that's a new word for me, by the way. That's why I said yes. But if I want to use it for man-made materials and wood, is that what phenolic? You said like G10, micarta, all that stuff.
Yeah, that kind of falls under man-made materials.
Okay. A new word for me. So could I just get? I'm like looking at the Harbor Freight Diamondback 10-inch table saw. Excuse me. I'm looking at tile saws here. So if I just get a table saw, can I still do the phenolic material?
Yeah, you would just need to use two different blades for wood and, or at least your wood. If you use a wood cutting blade, it's not going, once you cut G10 and stuff on it, it's not going to be very good for wood. It'll have a lot of burning on the sides.
Yeah.
That's why I had to put a big label on the side of my bandsaw that says "Quit cutting micarta here," because I would inevitably need to just cut a little bit, and then I would wreck the bandsaw blade and be mad at myself the next time I had a bunch of wood to cut.
Lowe's has a Craftsman 8.5 inch, but you said 10-inch.
Yeah, I lucked out, and I got Vevor sponsored an episode, and they sent me a table saw.
Nice.
So that's what I've been using for the longest time to cut wood. But I'll tell you, I've always been real sketched out by table saws. So I've ran my index finger into a saw blade and forced it to shut off. Because I split it just went straight through the bone. It was a mess. And whenever I was doing hardwood floors for a customer, when I was remodeling houses, and it hit hard enough and everything that it knocked the table saw back like 6-7 inches. It was a mess, blood everywhere. But so I've been I get super sketchy with pushing things through a table saw blade because they want to catch everything and throw it away from you.
True.
Well, throw it back into you, right?
Yeah.
So I just making sleds to do everything is.
I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't do anything without a sled and a push stick or whatever. But I did see that Walmart has $139 10-inch saw, and I know that's probably cheap. I probably need to spend more than that, but
you'll probably spend at least half of that or 3/4 of that on a good blade. Don't cheap out on buying a good blade.
I got you.
Yep.
Well, there'll be some more talking offline. I'm just not there yet. I do have a friend that I go to church with, and he's a big woodworker, and he says, "Hey, bring all your wood over here. I'll cut it up for you." So I've got that, and
I'd utilize that.
Yeah.
Now I've got a saw stop, and I went from a 10-inch Craftsman to a saw stop, and the quality of everything running so much truer and is makes a big difference. But that was also while I was still doing my engineering job and stuff like that. So I was just reinvesting all of my knife making earnings back into shop tools. So
yeah,
but that at the time it was $3,200 or something for the saw that I got.
Yeah, that's what I was doing when I was a rich man. Now I'm just doing okay, man. So I have to watch my money.
I ended up wanting to get a saw stop. My brother-in-law bought my Craftsman one. There was nothing wrong with it, and I had upgraded it quite a bit. But with the boys, knowing that they would probably want to be working in the shop and stuff too, just went ahead and got another one.
Yeah, so I've always loved seeing so for me, almost everything that I do is about I can't say bare bones, because when people come into my shop, they're like, "What are you talking about? This is the opposite of bare bones." But to me, in the grand scheme of things, because I don't have like a milling machine or things like that, so I consider, because in the realm of knife makers that
I would say yours is cost effective.
Yes, that. And whenever I watch my friends that I hang out with at every knife show and all that stuff, that are also YouTubers, and I see them using their milling machine to mill the face of a block that they're going to pair up to a guard, and I'm like, what?
Or better yet, milling in the shoulders of their knife that they're going to set into a guard, so they've got a nice, perfectly flat place for that, rather than using their file guide and filing away.
But seeing people mill wood to square it up and to do those things. I'm like, are your eyes not? Can you not see when things are square or like symmetrical and all that? Like you have to take that square block and lay it on its side, mill a flat side, flip it over, mill it, and then you have to do everything perfectly and all that just so you can take all of that and contour it into a handle. Like, what are you doing? And you're milling the face of a 2x2 block so that you can use a 3/4 by 1/2 inch section of it. That's going to be the section that is the size of your integral bolster.
Yeah.
And then you're going to take that and you're going to carve out a section for the integral bolster to kind of recess into your block a little bit. It's like, why did you mill all of that stuff and then get rid of it? And they tell me because it's cool for videos.
You know what bothers me? When people have the opportunity to and they don't take advantage of an even heat oven. I'm telling you what, man, Spence and the guys over at evenheat-kiln.com, they are the maker's choice. Their kilns are equipped with advanced features and technologies to deliver precise technology control every time. You know how I know they're good? Since I got my own even heat, whenever I heat and harden a knife and I pull it out of the oil, everything pops off of it. And I pretty much just got steel to see all of that
evenly heated steel,
and all the slag just kind of goes, carbon comes off of it, and there it is. I rub a towel down it to get the excess oil off of it, and any remaining stuff just kind of comes off with it. I may have a speck or two here, and I'm like, that was evenly heated. That went heated. That went very well. So, guys, if you want that experience, I can tell you, go out to evenheat-kiln.com and take a look what they've got, and then head over to one of the providers that sell or retail their kilns, and I can advise you to go to popsknifesupply.com. They offer them, and Kyle, you got yours from
USA Knife Maker.
USA Knife Maker is another gate provider of those kilns also. So go out and find an even heat today.
Did you see the Pops? They're doing the Pops build along thing right now with the Pro Cut.
Yeah, I did see that. I guess those things are great. They don't really ever suck me in. I think it's great for people. It's good for people to do that, getting a group challenge and this, that, and the other. It's just like the colors they chose and this, that, and the other just didn't pull me in. And I really enjoy 8670. And I know I should be going Pro Cut, but I haven't used it, and so I can't comment on it. But
you'll like it. Me personally, and it's just me personally. It's just me personally. I gotta make sure and clarify that. I'm not a fan of 8670.
Well, that's cool though. That's cool. Tell me why though. So I need to know why.
So I've heat treated it to what they want, but because I've been so used to, so with 8670 you get toughness and things like that. But for a lot of the knives that I make, almost all of them, after the tempering process and all that stuff, they stay around 64 to 65 Rockwell on the cutting edge, and you're not really doing that much with 8670. And like I wouldn't really make like an 8670 chef knife. You can, but on some of my chef's knives, this is the reason why I like the Pro Cut, because it is a competitor to the 26C3s and the other the high carbon steels that I use that after tempering are 64 to 67 Rockwell, which is crazy hard. And that's after your full tempering process and everything like that. But me personally,
no, that's okay. You can it's understood. You can make declarations.
Yeah, I just don't make many knives anymore personally that are in that like 58 to 60 Rockwell. And that knife is perfect at that. Now, if I'm going to do anything like that, I'm going to use 5160. I've got plenty of 5160, or I'm going to temper 80 CRV2 down to it, or I'm going to use 1080, 1084. There's already a bunch of stills that I already have that I'm confident with the heat treating process, which again, 8670 has almost the same heat treating process as those stills. It's a very simple heat treating process. It forges amazingly under the hammer, like butter. And but me personally, for the types of knives that I make for the customers right now, uh, I like Pro Cut because it has uh, held up well to the few chef's knives that I've made with it, and it's got a pretty good corrosion resistance, which is something that I think is cool.
That is really cool. I guess I should try. I'll be honest with you. It's commanding quite a price right now, and I've got a lot of 86. Yeah, so I've got a lot of 8670. It makes wonderful knives for me, and I'm comfortable with it. We all have steels we're comfortable with. Stuff that Kyle uses, I wouldn't even get around.
Stainless
still less
right here.
Yeah.
Which is more expensive. But the Pro Cut is still less expensive than the Hitachi white or the white paper, blue paper, the Hitachi white, Hitachi blue, or the 26C3s and all that. It's still less expensive than those stills. But you get the same hardness and toughness as those steels for a better price. And so it's kind of worth it in that realm. But if I'm going to sell a bird and trout knife that is not very large, $350 that's mono steel, or $400 it's mono steel, I want to be picky about the Rockwell hardness of those things and things like that, because if you're going to sell a high-end knife and it's a thinner knife and you're going to sell it at like 59 Rockwell or something like that, just me personally, I don't think that justifies the price tag of what you're selling it at.
Yeah, I don't think just Rockwell hardness alone gives you the full picture of how a knife is going to perform, but I do somewhat agree with you.
Yes, but it's where toughness meets hardness. If you can have the toughness and the hardness, it's like awesome. If you just get all the toughness but not the edge retention, then it's not as much of a thing. And a lot of people who are buying my knives are super hardcore into that edge retention, realm of things right now. And again, I mean, I make swords. If I'm making a sword or something like that, I'm not going to make it out of something that's going to be super hard. It's more toughness than anything. But for those little bird and trouts and the really lightweight knives that people are buying from me that weigh almost nothing, it's the same thing for like stainless. People are super crazy about those, the super steels and stuff like that cost $1 billion freaking dollars and take like 87 belts to grind them.
Yeah. But like I tell a lot of people, when you're making a custom knife, the steel is one of the cheaper things of the entire thing, with all the labor and the abrasives and all of that. So, if a 3-foot bar of MagnaCut costs $120, you get 3 knives out of that. That's $40 a piece. Like if you're going with 8670 and you're at, I don't know, $15, like,
oh yeah, cheap.
The customer, I think, would appreciate the better material for the kitchen knife.
Because that's very noticeable. Yeah. I think more so with, I was going to say, I think more so with kitchen knives than just general EDCs or outdoors knives, because they're using them for more precise applications and using them more often.
Yeah, that's where I tell a lot of people it's really hard to make kitchen knives, not just because I feel like they're fairly challenging, but the people will know if they don't work. Like, you can make a lot of hunting knives and get away with a lot of stuff that doesn't work, because chances are somebody's like going to just pull it out and look at it and not ever actually go out and use
or
it.
they're just going to cut open boxes and cut open envelopes, or it's just going to stay in their pocket and they're never going to use it to skin anything or to chop wood or baton or do any of that stuff. But where you're talking about there with the materials, this is something that I've had to get into with people who are thinking about buying knives and they want something that's inexpensive. And it's like, uh, I've got some handle material that costs $500, and before it even gets put on a knife, and it's like there's certain prices that come along with that. The steel really isn't the most expensive unless you're making Damascus, and then you have 2.5 pounds worth of steel to make a 14-ounce knife, because of the amount of stuff that you're grinding away and to get to that one specific pattern or something. But uh, the amount of steel that people go through to make mosaic Damascus is wild. But
Hey, Eric, I just want to interrupt. We do have a Knives Templars news alert.
Yeah.
Yeah, just coming in off the ticker here, we do see that Eric Rivers has 1,240 something, 57 followers on TikTok. Chips at 1127 for Shegman Knives. I'm about 120 less. You're currently at about 4,090 likes, and I'm at about 6,400 likes.
Nice.
I'm working on catching you though, because your YouTube, I'll never catch that. So I'm running neck and neck with you on TikTok, and game on. Subway sandwich. Well, I bet you a Subway sandwich at Blade Show next year.
I'll tell you this. Always told people this. I can't even compete with Chip's amount of advertisement. Like his
AI videos.
Yes,
Yeah.
I swear you were on AI, because I tried to do one AI image, and it was taking like 75 years. And what was I making? I was trying to do a hybrid Wookiee Predator, uh, like a Wookiee and a Predator hybrid thing.
Yeah.
I was using Chat GPT to create it, and that thing evidently I like froze Chat GPT. Chat GPT is not good at that. And I know, man, you post so many things, and I'm just like, is that Chip riding a horse? Or
My favorite one was when I
was.
was dressed in Western wear, wearing a nice little Grizz hat, walking down a runway with a bunch of Bigfoot on both sides at the fashion show. At the fashion show, that one got a lot of. I've with the news we've had this week, though, I've kind of hadn't felt like putting anything out like that and being funny or celebrating. I don't mean it's in a bad way; just kind of felt like.
Nah, I've been in a funk for the past day and a half now. Too.
I have too.
I did go out to the shop last night, and I'm in that prep for the Cowtown show that we're doing, the Texas Fair Supply Show.
Yeah.
So I've got like a bunch of EDCs and a couple of chefs that I need to finish. So I've got them all drilled and ready for heat treat and all that. So I want to try and have all the handle material on all of them by Sunday so that I can work on them.
Yeah. And people don't realize, as we were talking before the show, you get up about 3:30 every morning or earlier to get out on the road, work all day, get home about 5 or so in the afternoon. Family, food, and try and get a little shop time if you can, and want schoolwork and everything else. It's a tough life, isn't it not?
It is a lot of work. People don't, again, for anybody who's ever had to work a job where you got to get up at 3:30 in the morning and then drive an hour to your work, and then you finish and you have to drive an hour back.
Yeah.
It's just, people don't realize by the time let's just say you get home at 2 p.m. people are like, you got so much day left. It's like, first of all, this feels like midnight.
Yeah.
In my mind, I understand it's sun out, but whenever people are still telling me good morning and I've been at work for 8 hours, I'm like, what do you mean?
Yeah. I got off at noon yesterday after going in at 5 a.m. to do training all day with some folks, and I was going to come home and work on my knives. I came in and sat on the recliner, and the dog jumped in my lap, and it's like 5 o'clock. I woke up sitting in the recliner, and I was groggy. But you've got the same thing going on, Kyle. You're out there working all day, and do you take and pick up the boys, and then do the dinner and schoolwork and all that?
Yeah, my wife is a teacher, so she luckily helps them most of the time with the homework and stuff.
Mhm.
Also, being in the dual language program, Spanish and English, my wife was a dual language teacher for 17 years before she switched to be an instructional coach. So
I would hate to be your kids. An engineer as a father and a school teacher as a mother. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they're well, it's really bad for them right now because they're in fourth grade, and that's where Courtney spent, I think it was 13 years teaching fourth grade. So she's like, I know how to teach, like specifically how to teach everything you're learning.
What language?
And you will succeed.
Spanish and English.
Spanish, English, the old Spanglish. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, so it's a really cool program. They come out and they're going to be fairly bilingual. She talks to them in Spanish quite a bit, and that's where they seem to have a leg up on a bunch of their other students. The class is roughly 50-50 with native Spanish speakers and native English speakers. So.
Yeah. Hey guys, let's not forget to talk about a couple folks here. Pop's Knife Supply, you can find them over at Pop's Knife Supply, popsknifesupply.com. You know, I ordered some nylon cases this week for my knives. I love the zipper cases you can get with them at a really good price. But they've been around for 40 years, and if you need something in knife making, from tools, other equipment, to supplies of any sort, there's just about nothing that they cannot provide you. And I'm very fortunate that I live about 3 hours from Atlanta here in the Southeast. So if you're in the Southeast, you're going to get things within a day or two tops, but great suppliers. Talked to Joey Berry this week. Alan's doing a little bit better, and let's continue to keep Alan in our prayers, and good success to them on their current challenge with the Pro Cut steel. Everybody go out and get you some Pro Cut. Get involved in this challenge. Also, let me mention Phoenix Abrasives. You know, Greg Schoen, the owner over there, do a great job supporting us, also supporting Knife Perspective podcast. But you can find them at phoenixabrasives.com, and they offer great selection on all of their abrasive materials, from belts to discs, just to anything related in the abrasive community. Do they sell some of your products too there, Kyle?
They sell some of my sanding sticks, yes.
There you go. And if you go over to phoenixabrasives.com, if you put in Templars 10 at checkout, you're going to get 10% off every order, and you're going to get your order shipped very quickly as well. So go see those guys. Matter of fact, I put out an ad this week on the Alabama Custom Knife Maker site about Templars 10, and that everybody should go to Ameribraid.com, and I tagged Greg and Sean in it. And, of course, it lets you know when one of them liked it or whatever. And I went over there and I saw Ameribraid, so I had to send Greg a little text back and say, oops, I changed it. I didn't put Phoenix Abrasives. I was sending everybody to Ameribraid to get 10% off all of their abrasives. So, correction. So, man. So, how was your show this week, Kyle? FabTech.
Yeah. So yesterday I went to FabTech. It's a fabrication industrial trade show at the McCormick Center downtown. And it's brutal getting down there in the morning. The show doesn't open till 9:30, and I had to drop the boys off. So I dropped the boys off at 8:25, and then got on the road into the city, and I didn't get in till 10 o'clock before I hit the parking lot. And but
it was so cool. You got a pair of tweezers just like I got.
Yeah,
probably a different name on it, but I was so tickled to see those water jetted tweezers.
I'm pretty sure it's probably the same one. Omax.
Very well could be. I couldn't even tell you where mine are now, but
has been making those at every show. So they actually had a machine running, cutting them out, and they were literally handing them out as quick as the machine would cut them out. That takes about I don't know, I think it's like a minute and a half or something to cut through 1/4 inch aluminum, or or maybe stainless steel.
I think it was stainless, the ones I had.
But yeah, there was tons of great stuff. Did a little bit of work for Power Stop, looking at things over there too. One of the products that I found that was pretty impressive. I know most everybody in the knife making community is familiar with evapor rust, but there was this company that's called Rust Release, and some of their rust removing stuff was fairly impressive for how quickly it dissolved the rust. And he said that if for like 5-gallon quantities, they're about 10 to 20% cheaper than evapor rust. So that was kind of cool. Lots of other different things. Of course, talked to a lot of three of the main abrasive manufacturers: 3M, Norton, and VSM. I had shown a few times the little microfiber cleaning cloth for your glasses and stuff. VSM was handing these out that had the Actorox blue shape and stuff on it, and it says VSM abrasives on the back and 36 grit and stuff. So it's kind of funny to be using something that looks like 36 grit to get the smudges off your glasses. But the Broadbeck crew was there also. They had a booth, and got to hang out with them and have dinner with them on Sunday, and then had dinner with them and Nick from the Chicago Knife Center downtown. We went to a super fancy Argentinian steakhouse, and I got one of the better ribeyes I've ever had in my life there, and a pretty good old fashioned also. So it was fun getting to hang out with Ryan and Ben and Nick, and saw a bunch of people at FabTech. Somebody that was there the same day I was there, but never ran across him. Ryan told me he was there, but Frank Grissom, Grissom Knife and Tool.
Oh, cool.
If you don't follow him, he makes some pretty cool stuff. I've got this little, he calls it like a Riverstone, little folding knife pattern that Best Tech makes for him.
Beautiful finish.
Yeah, so he's designed and made some pretty cool knives. If you aren't following him, make sure you give him a follow. But there's just an unbelievable amount of stuff that was super cool, all stuff that we all get super excited about. I was a little bummed. I thought like Miller and some of those places would have some more like drop your business card in here and maybe win something, but didn't really see any of those around. So talked to OhmTech about a fiber laser. So we'll see what happens with that. They said that they're going to have some fairly competitive pricing coming up for Black Friday and the holiday season. So we'll see. Want to try to pull the trigger on that before the end of the year. So
very good, very good. I went to that show. I guess how long's that show been there? Do you know?
So it rotates it goes to 3 different locations. I think it's Atlanta, or no, is it Jacksonville, Florida? Somewhere over there on the East Coast, down south. And then it goes to Chicago, and then out to Las Vegas, and then back to Chicago, and then to the East Coast. IMTS goes Las Vegas, Chicago, Las Vegas, Chicago. They're more of the CNC programming and stuff, less of the fabrication side, more of the manufacturing side. That's a super impressive show also. But
I remember it was huge. If compared to Blade Show, it was extremely huge. And I went to this back in 2007 or 8. Might have been the fall of 2007. And it was just a big, gigantic show.
Yeah.
We drove over from Detroit to go to it for a couple days.
Creaform, the place Josh Ferran does all the scanning from, they had a fairly big booth there, and Josh told me to stop by and talk to them, and I said, any of you walked up to one guy and go, you know Josh Ferran? And he goes, actually, yes, I do. And then the guy standing next to him goes, my wife's the inside sales rep for him. So that guy is the sales rep for Wisconsin and Illinois. So he said, I'd love to schedule an in-person demonstration. We're like, well, let me pass along some of this information first. So
in-person demonstration for who? For you?
Yeah, for scanning, doing their scanning technology.
Could you take that stuff over to Jason Knight's and scan all his knives so we could make them?
I mean, you still have to make them.
It's kind of like where I was headed with that was, Eric will remember this. You can scan them all you want, but you can't make them.
Yeah, photograph them.
Yeah.
Yep.
But there was a ton of really impressive stuff there. The focus this year was really on lasers. So laser scanning, laser cutting, lots of fiber lasers. When I was at FabTech like 4 or 5 years ago, it was a big emphasis on water jet, and some of the robots. This year it was all the fiber lasers for welding, fiber lasers for cutting, and there were a ton of the articulating robot arms for loading and unloading parts,
cool.
holding the MIG guns and doing the robotic welding. Stuff like that.
Well, since you said Broadbeck was there, let's just mention this real quick, that you guys should go to broadbeckironworks.com. He's one of the best grinders out there. His accessories and tools on the market are some of the best as well. You got to look at all their packages that they have. You can buy painted, unpainted VFDs, a ton of accessories, including the Morocco Platen. He's even got pneumatic hammers out there, nice waterfall platens, and just a slew of tools. So go back out and check broadbeckironworks.com and see what Ryan can offer you. I believe you've got some Broadbeck equipment, don't you there, Kyle?
Yeah, I've got a 2x72 and a bunch of accessories. At the show this year, they unveiled the 3x79 option for their chassis, basically different size wheels, but still the same 1.5 inch tooling arm.
Yeah.
So you can still use your 2-inch accessories on with the 3-inch wide, or the wheel for a 3-inch wide belt for tracking or drive wheel. So you can go back and forth or use that wider belt. It's a little interested in possibly doing that, but for the show, a lot of the companies there really want the OSHA compliant guards and stuff for the belt grinders and stuff. And both the grinders they had there had the OSHA compliant grinding guards. But one of the things that kind of set them apart for the guards is you don't have to, a lot of the guards for the belt grinders, you have to open a cover and kind of feed the belt in and around.
Right.
They worked out a way so that you don't have to mess with any guards. You can take the belt on and off without having to open or close any guards.
That's cool. I work in the fabrication and construction industry these days, and actually I love the fact he's got an OSHA compliant machine, and in the future he's on my short list of people if somebody I see that they need a piece of equipment or looking at it for fabrication purposes, of course. I'll be recommending that just because you get that compliance with the guarding when it comes to you, and you don't have to worry about the employer has the responsibility to make the equipment safe. So if you can get it already there, you don't have to go back and reinvent the wheel. So good machine he's got. And also that 3x79 is just a blessing, I'm sure.
Yeah. One of the guys bought one that does some of the hammer and axe work. He's a local knife maker, axe maker mainly.
Yeah.
And then they sold the second 2x72 machine that they brought also to somebody there at the show. And then I think Ryan said he had over 100 people that they were following up leads and stuff on. So it was a good show for them.
Oh, you can't beat that with a stick, that's for sure. So everybody knows, excuse me, we're starting our 25-26 pledge drive, and that pledge drive is because we do not want to operate at a profit. We want to make ends meet and invest everything that we earn back into the podcast. So All of the sponsors we're talking about tonight have signed up for the rest of this year and also for the year 2026 to be paid sponsors on their show. We have some exciting offers out there. If you're a company, we have a price package for you with some opportunities for some discounts for advertisements. And even if you're a maker, we've got the opportunity for you to put your brands out there. And whether you're making now when I say makers, if you're a small guy working out of his shop and you've got some stuff, Clark Iron Forge is a good example of that. He works out of his home shop and he produces some of the great hydraulic presses that are out there. He's in maker pricing. So depending on where you are, you can fall into that. And I will give you some pricing right now. It's $25 a month for a business. You can pay just $250 a year if you pay all 12 months up front. And if you are a home-based business putting out, small products, we can look at that with some subjectivity. Clark Iron Forge is a great example of a wonderful person out there. That's $12 a month. And of course, we can take 2 months payment off of that if you pay for a year in advance. What do you get for it? We're going to put you on our website. We're going to promote you on the podcast and any things that we do, like T-shirts and things that we do at shows. We're going to make sure that your graphics and your links are all on that as well. And we're going to make sure we put you out there. But number one, we're going to have to believe in you because we're just not selling names. Anybody that we have on here, we believe in. If you're a maker, you're a knife maker and you want to advertise on the show, trust me, we believe in all knife makers. There's not a level of knife making you need to be in. So feel free to contact us. You can go to knifetemplars.com/sponsors or just click on the sponsors link on our page and look more into the sponsors opportunities. Speaking of that, there's not a bad knife maker. I had a guy walk into my office over at the fab shop today and he was there to work on a crane and he pulled out a knife and handed it to me. I was like, little neck knife. What do you call the bull knives that they use out in Texas that have is that called a bull knife?
There's a bull cutter?
A bull cutter, yeah. He had a neck knife that was a bull cutter design that he had made. And he said, the guy out in the shop said, you make knives. And I said, well, how'd they find out you make knives? Like you have the knife maker. He says, what kind of knife you carrying? get the conversation started. He goes, I don't have a knife. Chip gave me a knife, meaning a little folder. I always pick up folders and give them to people. And he said, but he says, that guy in the shop up there makes knives. So he came up and I think I have encouraged this guy who makes pretty good knives to come to the Alabama Forge Council meetings and also getting more involved in the community because he's been making knives by himself. We were talking about, the equipment and stuff, and he's working on his Palmgren 2x42, and he just got a Grizzly 2x42 with a variable speed drive, and he's excited about that. So I told him, you need to go to the Rivers Experience community on Facebook and check out the Rivers Experience on YouTube. So it's always good to open up eyes. There's no bad knife makers out there. So if you want to promote your brand with us, feel free. And certainly we want to make sure you're getting some out of it. We're not just collecting money, but all knife makers are great knife makers and welcome to advertise on our site. That's all. But that was a great experience to have today.
It's awesome.
Yeah. It's funny, as knife makers, I know y'all have experienced this. Somebody says, my sister's boyfriend's cousin knows a guy that lives 3 miles down the street that has some knives, and I think he has a forge back there making that. You guys could be friends. I need to introduce you.
Yeah, the amount of people who make knives or who have made knives with old brake drum that they used a blow jar for with coal and all that stuff in their garage or out in their backyard with the railroad track. There's I get a lot of those now that I'm doing the whole farmers market thing.
Yeah.
Evidently, there's a whole lot of them in Texas.
I can imagine.
I don't get much. I don't get as many of things like that in up here in Illinois.
Yeah, I just get a lot of people that want to introduce me to their 32nd cousin twice removed that's a knife maker that I want to become best friends with. I'm like, I only got a few friends, but I love running into people that make knives and want to talk about it. It's just a lot of fun. Speaking of that, I met a lot of budding knife makers last weekend. I think y'all might have probably seen my video, but I went to the Alabama Forge Council's fall meeting at Tannehill State Park, and I did green coal all weekend. And there's a part of me that says, I want a green coal forge and I want to sit and forge like that. And then I realized just how easy it is to use propane, and I don't want a green coal forge. It's just fun to be able to do it occasionally. So once a month, I can go down to Coleman, Alabama, to our forge down there and use green coal, or I can sit in my shop and do propane, which is more controlled. You don't burn the steel. It's a much better process, but green coal kind of takes you back to what you can do. I even did a forge temper that day. It was fun doing that.
Those forges are awesome, and eventually, one of these days, I will probably make a coal forge to have, and just so that I have it. I probably won't do it in my neighborhood.
Oh, they're dirty.
In the middle of my 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 neighborhood that's in the middle of town. I probably won't do a coal forge, but if we end up moving out of town, I might do one of the bigger ones that have an actual hood and all that stuff. But I think that those forges are awesome. Me watching Lynn Ray forge with a coal forge and do those things. I don't know how many. I've probably watched hundreds of hours of Lynn Ray forging stuff, and a few of the other guys that have been doing this forever. And a lot of my forging techniques come from me doing a thing and then watching them to see if I did it right. And those being able to. Here's what I always say. I always say that the coal forge is the old induction forge, because with an induction forge, you can kind of choose where the heat goes. And on a coal forge, wherever you put the heat, that's where the heat is.
Right.
It can be dark on either side of that piece of steel.
And I found out this past weekend.
But where that heat is, that is where the heat is. You can melt the steel, or you can get it nice and hot and do your thing.
Yeah, I saw a lot of budding forge masters, people out there learning to forge that had sparkles flying off their steel, and I'm like, get it out of there, get it out of there, get it out. And a couple of people pulled out pieces of their knife rather than the whole
pulled
knife.
Out nubs, not knives.
Yeah, just take that to a cutoff tool. Let's start over. Just cut off another point in it and start hammering.
I spend a lot of my time lately doing more and more blacksmithing projects, and it's. I love that aspect of making is the blacksmithing side. That's what I've been doing with my little like forks and little knives and stuff like that. All these little, cool little blacksmithing little things that I've been.
Have you eaten with them yet?
No, I still got to grind bevels and do some stuff. These are 80 CRV2. I wanted. They're fully heat treated. I just got to do some grinding and some sanding, because they're going to be very pretty looking whenever they're all done.
Ooh,
but
pretty.
I was like, I wanted to be able to actually heat treat them and them have like a real heat treat and temper for the knife to have actual hardness and all that. But like y'all can barely see it, but it's not just a twist. I actually spiraled.
Yeah, I can see you spiraled it. Yeah, on the knife you're holding. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's actually tapered into what is the kind of bolster area and all of that. Like there was extra work that went into it to get it to be how I wanted it, but it's just doing all the fun blacksmithing projects because I can just knock them out.
You've got an Apollo forge. You've got an anvil. When you go hammer something, dude?
I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
Yesterday we were talking. Nick is wanting to do he called it like the ultimate feast. Yeah. So he wants to, before he dies on his bucket list, he wants to do he called it an ultimate feast, I think it was, but he wants to make the kitchen table. He wants to make the chairs. He wants to make the plates, the cups, the forks, the knives, the spoons, the cups.
Wow.
Like, grow a pig, like feed it, slaughter it, grow all the vegetables, make the pan to like cook all the stuff. He wants to have do an entire meal of everything that he's made and learned.
Something that people used to do every day 300 years ago. I guess there's a lot of bartering and trading back then, but that is really cool.
So I thought that was an interesting idea with when you brought up the forks and knife and stuff there.
You know who I like to watch? You just brought talking about that. I want to paint my fingernails black, and I want to go hang out with Nick Rossi. I love watching him forge stuff on an anvil and just make knives. He's so cool.
Yeah, he's good. There's a lot of smiths out there right now that have good channels, and for me now, a lot of my blacksmithing stuff, if I'm not doing it for a live stream, these are I wouldn't say my guilty pleasures, but like they're my thing. They're the thing that I want to make and do for me and develop, because there's a lot of techniques that you learn within doing this to make knives better.
Right.
As if you're gonna do brute to forge, or you're gonna do forge to finish, or you're gonna do all that stuff. But a lot of these little techniques are gonna go into a few knives that I have that I'm gonna be making in the future, and I have just been enjoying the process, because we've made lots of knives, lots and lots and lots of knives. Like it's one of those things where
watch this, Kyle. How many have you made?
678.
I love it. He puts a number on every one.
Every one of them. Like he has 678, has 678 on it.
Yeah.
I have not done that because I did, I've done batches. I've done plenty of batches and things like that over the years, but I've made hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of knives, but a lot of them are kind of like one-offs or like 4-offs or 10-offs. But
this might shock you. I have them all in a Excel list with the handle material and blade material.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember you said you did that.
You are an engineer. That just makes sense. Like if anybody's friends with engineers, you know for a fact that they have like everything they've ever designed or everything that they've ever done. It's meticulously.
I don't know if y'all haven't realized this, but I have started a new numbering system based on the series of knives. So my current ones are KJVS01-25, and then I've done 02-2. So those are Knife Guild voting submission 01 2025. And then I've got 02 started right now. So I've started giving them all, what would you call that, a model or a serial? I guess a model number. So
I have not done any of that. As a matter of fact, I've only ever made three knives that have anything on them other than my little Trident Maker's Mark.
Well, I just give them that number. I don't put it on the knife, but I will tell you, I ran out of all the available knives for Sasquatch, so I can't name them after any of that. Using names again.
All these different names, and as a matter of fact, I've only got like 4 or 5 knives that have names to their profiles, just because and most of those are knives that I've done batches of, or they're knives that people request over and over and over again. And
Do you complete a certificate with each one of your knives that go out that lists the maker, the materials, and all that stuff?
Man, I would have 500 individual certificates of uniqueness if I did that. I don't do that, but partially because a lot of the knives that I've sold have YouTube videos dedicated to them.
Yeah, so I see Kyle's got a card that he does that on, and I've got a sheet of paper that I print out all that material and sign it and send it off like that.
So on my website, it has all the stuff. So if someone buys one off my website, it has all the links, the materials, and all that stuff. But a lot of the knives that I sell have YouTube build videos dedicated to how I actually made it. So it's not just what the materials are. It's like, this is how he forged it.
I've gotten to the point that I've made so many knives now. Guys, I don't think I made my name that way, but I kind of was doing something other people really weren't, was just doing step-by-step photos of every knife being built, putting it on the website.
Lots of them.
Yeah, and I don't do that anymore. I pretty much just do finished photos. I don't do a web page for every knife. So I got away from doing all those build photos, and I've also found that every knife I make doesn't make it to my website anymore. I'll take pictures of them, but they just don't, for some reason, they don't all make it out there.
Yeah. It's interesting. When I started, like, it's all new and exciting and you're proud of each little process. And then, when you're doing it more for a business, you're like, I'm grinding knives again. Like, do people actually want to see this?
Yeah, I still love each one, and I still
profile.
take pictures. It's just, I'm just not going to make another picture of it and put it out on the website anymore. And I've still got my very first 5 or 6 knives. I'll always leave those pictures out there just because it tells a journey, and people can look at those and go, "What the heck is that?" But that's part of my journey. But from here on, they just have to be pretty special, or somebody sends me a really cool picture, and I'll put it on my website.
So for a lot of the ones that I make now, if they are going to go on my table, there will be a breakdown of what they are and all that stuff. But if I'm going to film them or do something like that, it's like I give people the actual videos of me forging it, me doing all that stuff. I give them the links of everything with the actual knife that they're buying.
Right.
But if it's one of my EDCs or something like that, yeah, they got to have at least the knowledge of what it is and how to maintain it.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But I see some people, and this is just not, it's not me. But I think that the people who give the boxes and the cleaning wax and
documentation
all that
and stuff, yeah.
With not just documentation, but all of the excess, all the extra stuff that comes with the knives. There are people that I know that do a lot of that stuff, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
But I was a knife collector for 20 years before I was a knife maker.
Yeah.
And as a knife collector who spent a lot of money on very expensive knives, I never kept any.
Yeah. I still do this.
One bit of it. So for me, I don't focus on that stuff. I focus on the stuff that the person is going to, like, if I sell a knife, it's going to have a good quality sheath, or it's going to have a nice case, but I want the people to use it. I don't want them to display it, so I'm not going to give them stuff that would let them display it.
Yeah. I still do this. I got 10 million condiment cups that I use for mixing epoxy and stuff in. And every time I make a knife, I'll throw one of those cups out that's eventually going to get the epoxy in it. And I throw a piece of the steel cut off. I throw a piece of the pin, and I throw a piece of the wood that went in the handle. And when I box up the knife along with all the documentation, I've got these little tiny bags, and I slide a piece of the steel, the handle, raw handle material, and a cut off pin and put in there. And these are, I always play that these are what do you call it, parts for down the road if something breaks, it's a joke. What do you call it, replacement? These are replacement parts.
I like that. See, but
it gives them a piece of the raw material so they can see this is where this came from.
I think that's unique and cool, and that's part of your thing. I never want people to do what I do or what I think is important. I like that every knife maker is an individual and they do all of that cool stuff. It's just, for me personally,
you got to do you. Yeah.
I don't do that, and that's primarily because, as a person who again was a knife collector for the longest time, if it came with a cool carrying case, because I bought high-end folders, fixed blades and stuff like that. But whenever you see someone buy an $800 folder and they hand it to them in a zip-up pouch, and you're like, that's a $800 knife that person just bought, and they got a zip pouch, and you have someone selling a $180 knife, and that bad boy has a box, a lasered steel business card with like all the materials and all this stuff, like 12 stickers, a
That
can,
sounds like me and Josh
uh,
Howard. That's you're describing me, and you
like
just described Josh
a can of
Howard.
blade wax, or a tin of blade wax. They've got cleaning cloths and all this stuff. And I'm like, man, you just sold a $180 knife with like $30 in
Yeah,
swag.
yeah. I don't throw that much in it, but I do throw a couple. I throw a sticker or two, depending on if I've got some extras. They get replacement parts as a joke, and then I throw in a little rubber
Just a
Jesus
great idea.
a little rubber Jesus that costs me 22 cents per Jesus. It says Jesus loves you on it. So
Yeah. And I think that's what makes this unique. It's unique to you. And I think that that's cool. I think that the people who do it all the different ways, I think that that's cool. That's one of my favorite parts about walking around Blade Show and seeing all the stuff, like the guys that have them, and like they sell the knives and they have the framed shadow boxes.
Yeah. Those guys that spend all that time making those special boxes for their knives. Oh my gosh.
There's a maker that has he does the shadow boxes, but if the handle material came off a ship.
Yeah, we saw. Yeah, he was kind of a historical guy. I forget what he had in there, but we were at his table one year and he had all the historical stuff. Yeah.
Nichols.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's the guy. If you look him up, you'll.
Yeah, and he had certificates of authenticity for his materials.
Basketball courts, bleacher seats, all sorts of stuff.
I know that, Kyle, you've got the guy from Michigan that was on the show one time that sets caddy corner over behind you that makes all those really cool, nice wooden boxes with the foam inserts cut out so that his knives go in them. I think he's on your aisle. He's from Michigan. I think sits behind you, maybe another row over or whatever, but he was really good. But you know what makes knife making so special?
Cool.
Yeah. What else makes it special is good steel, because you can't have a good knife without steel. And if you go to New Jersey Steel Baron, they're out of New Jersey because it's in their name, but NewJerseySteelBaron.com, they're delivering high quality steel, all types for blades and other steel part needs that you have in any type of, just steel needs in general, but specifically for us for knife making guards and so on. Not only do they have steel, they've got water jet services, heat treating, and much, much more. They've been around since 2010. So go out and see Peter and the folks over at New Jersey Steel Baron. And one more time, NewJerseySteelBaron.com. And while you're at it, we mentioned Clark Iron Forge. ClarkIronForge.com. He's one of our sponsors on the show. Makes some of the greatest presses out there. He's got a 17, a 25, and a 40 ton. Down in Tannehill last week, he had a 40 ton and a 25, a 17 and a 25 with him. Excuse me, a 17 and a 40 with him, and both were gone before we got there. That's how they are. Now, he wants us to remind you that his prices have gone up just a little bit. So there, I think it was $200 or $300 that they've gone up on them, but still, when you can get a 25-ton forge, excuse me, I keep saying forge, hydraulic press, excuse me, get a hydraulic press, a 25-ton forge. That's a heavy forge. When you can get a 25-ton hydraulic press for $4,300 and then $700 shipped, if you pick it up, it's $4,300. You can't beat that anywhere. Great products. And lastly, I want to mention KHDailyKnives.com.
Yeah,
KH Daily. He's been around. He's made 648. Is that right? Did I get it right?
78.
678 knives. If you want 79 or 680, they're just right around the corner. But I tell you what, this guy has honed in his skills over the years. He's part of our show. He's part of other shows. He is fully integrated into the community's who's who of knife making tools, products, supplies, and knives themselves. So go out and see Kyle's products at KHDailyKnives.com.
And what I like about Kyle's products is they are thought through and useful.
And functional. Very functional, yeah.
It's the tools that you make because you saw yourself doing a thing and you were like, there's got to be a more efficient way to do this. And then you designed that thing, you made that thing, and it is that useful. I've probably used your sanding sticks on a couple of hundred knives.
I love his sanding sticks. So elementary, but perfect. Just perfect. And I like the fact that you curve them over on the back, because a lot of times those curves just roll right into plunge lines and stuff. It's just really cool.
Yeah.
They are useful, and the pin sled.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Pins. I use the head.
I don't know if you saw Derek Melton gave me some love on the pin sled. He was cutting some pins for his coffee scoops to like little copper pins that he was like peening into the handle to do some accents. And he he tagged me and he said, I've had no less than like 20 people tell me I need to buy your pin sled. And he bought the digital file because I sell that one so you can 3D print it yourself because it doesn't have any extra hardware or stuff that kind of needs to get put in there. And he 3D printed it because he's a big 3D printer like I am. And yeah, he was like, man, this is so much easier. The little pieces fall in a cup. I don't have it like fall on the floor and chasing it around. And yeah.
Yep.
So.
Well, guys, before we jump off, I wanted to say that Mark is at Mardi Gras planning practice tonight. Josh is coming off the road. He thought he was going to be on with us, but he's got a traveling job too. Jason Fry is out on a lake somewhere with a much-deserved and promised fishing trip with his sons because family is very, very important. Emily is headed down to lower L.A., Louisiana. I always want to say lower Alabama when somebody says L.A. To the, if you haven't heard about it, the Louisiana Custom Knife Maker Show is this coming weekend. I think it's in Gonzales. Is that right?
Yes, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
It's something like that.
That's going to be on Saturday. That's going to be a great show to go to. And Steve is out exterminating the world from all the creepy crawlies that run around Florida, and he's such a character, always making knives as well. So, guys, you got any plans for this weekend? I think I need to pressure wash a deck and prepare it for a fall ceiling, and then some knives as well.
Today is actually my dad's 69th birthday.
Congrats.
So we're going down to have birthday party with him.
Cake and ice cream.
Yeah, he's bought some sausages and hamburgers. Asked me to do some grilling, and his big birthday present, he wants a new smart thermostat installed. So when he's down in Florida, he can check his house temperature up in Columbus. So.
Does he have
a home? Very dad thing.
Does he have a home down in Florida? A winter home or something? Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's got a house down there in Port Charlotte, a little bit south of Tampa. On the
sounds like a great place to have daily stock. First Knives Templars like daily stock.
It's like a 2-bedroom house down there.
No. We're fine. Everybody else can camp out on the beach. So. Daily stock. Clark, we're still working on Clark stock. Daily stock, Eric stock, but you're in a neighborhood.
I'm unincorporated.
Good. Ferran lives on a farm. There we go.
That's the spot right there.
3 houses down, I've got a 60-acre farm.
Well, there you go. We are coming. We are going to have daily stock for sure. Eric, what you got going on? You going to be making knives? Doing your show on Saturday?
I'll be live streaming Saturday, and I've got to work on these knives. I've got the Cowtown knife show that's down at the Stockyards at the end of September, last weekend of September, and then I'll be doing a demo there. We're either going to be doing a demo with Jay Nielsen, like a kind of a talking type thing. We can't really forge because we're inside the actual building. So we probably won't be doing that. I know he's doing an anatomy of anvil on the Texas Fair Supply.
How's his anvil taking off? Is it popular?
Great.
Good for him.
Fantastic.
Good for him.
We're loving it. And so we've got that, and I'm prepping for my demo for that I'm going to be doing, and then got to get these knives done. I've been doing the farmer's market, and I've actually sold a whole bunch of the steak flippers and some of the knives, so I've got to replace.
I'm going to do that next year. That's such a good idea because we've got a really nice farmers market here in Hartselle, and I was thinking about taking some knives late in the season after I was terminated due to reduction in force. I had very good performance. When I say terminated, I don't want to sound negative. And I thought about doing that, but I think next summer I'm probably going to do some of the stake turners are easy, and maybe even some of the easy spike knives and stuff like that, but then have some higher grade stuff out there to sell for people that want to spend a little bit more. But I think you've got a really good thing going. Have you thought about doing any knife sharpening like Morocco and all those kind of guys do?
Yeah, I've got people that I'm going to be doing knife sharpening for and things like that.
Yeah.
The reason why we're doing the farmers markets is actually to get local chefs.
Oh, cool.
To get more used to me.
Yeah.
So for one, I sold one of my chefs to a local chef, and they're going to try that out and everything. And then I sold another chef to a guy who's here from the Netherlands, and see what he likes about that. But it's the whole point behind this is to get these people used to knowing that there's a local knife maker that does
very
make
good,
thoughtful, good chef's knives.
Yeah, you've got a really nice, unique design too. Nobody can say that you've copied that design.
And that I can maintain them for them, and I can also maintain the rest of the knives in their kitchens. Because whenever you don't have to do it for much if you can get somebody to bring you 15 and do that. But it's just getting people used to me so that they can buy stuff from me that's not just knives. Selling the steak flippers for $20 to $30 depending on how intricate they get.
Yeah,
making an extra $150, $200 when the table only costs you like $20.
Yeah, see, our tables don't cost anything.
And then also having the amount of people that want to take classes.
Oh wow, yeah.
And doing that because they come in, they take a class. A lot of that is just paying for the education.
Yeah.
Depending on whether they want to learn just blacksmithing skills and they want to just forge a steak flipper, or if they want to do a full 2-day class and leave with a knife.
I've had a lot of people asking me about classes or asking me to come over and make a knife lately, and I don't really want to get into that. I'll teach friends and close comrades how to make a knife, and I'll supply materials, but I've had a lot of people ask me, can I come over and make a knife? So I just put a class on my site, and it's I think it's $300 and the other one's $700 if you want a full weekend or something like that, which seems to be what other people are charging. So I've put that out there. I don't know if that's the going rate or not, but I know that they'll walk away with a decent knife for that much.
I do $450 per person for a knife making class. It's a 2-day class, and it's $450. You leave with a knife, but you leave with like a good knife, not like I'm gonna let you leave with some horrible looking thing.
Wonky thing. Yeah.
Congratulations, now give me $450.
I'll
tell you,
and
right now, it's fun.
And I got comfortable with that this weekend working at Batson's forging knives with people. I have to give you a little credit because, I use that term with you that I got to unbanana the banana, and it finally hit me in my mind how to do it. So I can set and take a knife. I can set and produce a point very quickly without getting fish lips or a cold shunt in the front of it. I can sit there and take that thing and put it on the horn after I've got it thinned out a little bit, take it down, turn it into a banana, and then start beating that edge and then start lifting it up, and it comes out. Basically where do I want my point, because I like to make drop points, where do I want that to come down so it lifts up and looks symmetrically like it should, and then just kind of keep it in a line the whole way. And I thought a lot about you as I was making that knife, just because of the instruction that you've offered and what you've done, and realizing I'm not you when it comes to hammering knives also, but being able to take some of those skills I've learned from watching you and others and be able to start doing that with confidence. Take a piece of skill and know that it's going to turn into a knife when I'm done, not hoping it will. And what's really cool about that, Eric, is that as I did that and made knives, it attracted people. People started coming in because there were some people there that were making some pretty wonky pieces of steel that looked nothing like. They would start out wanting to make a buoy. When they got done, they got a flat end and said, hey, I'm going to turn this into a kitchen chopper. They walked away with people that are makers walked away with what they were settled for based on what they thought they could get it to. But to
Yeah.
say, I'm going to put this point here, I'm going to drop this angle down so that when it unbananas and comes back up, that drop point is going to be right about where I want it to start, and then make a decent shaped handle. I was very tickled, and I know I got a long way to go, but it reminded me a lot of watching you and learning from you, and like I said, and others in the field. But it's really cool when those things start to click in your mind.
It is really cool. And whenever makers can kind of start wrapping their heads around preforms and planning ahead and all that stuff,
Yeah.
and then you get it and you're done forging it and you're like, oh, that's but that looks like a knife. Like,
Yeah,
it's really cool. And you think to yourself, man, like you turned a rectangle into that, or you turned a cylinder.
Yeah, and that it's interesting you say that, because Ferran's really good at taking a chunk of steel and turning it into a knife, and I can do that too. But watching him, I learned how to get that heel to drop down, so you get that deeper heel where you get that nice offset from the handle, and that heel comes down and goes out. So you just got to keep beating steel. Hey guys, just wanted to make sure everybody knows that if you have questions, comments, product review, show, or guest ideas, you can get in touch with us at the knivestemplars@yahoo.com, or you can just DM us on Facebook in the Facebook group, or you can contact me, Eric, Kyle, or anybody on our Facebook pages and say, hey, I want to be on the show, or I want to see this. You can always visit us at knivestemplars.com to always stay up to date. I'm excited to say that we are now sponsored by, and if you want to jump on, get in touch with us, but we're sponsored by TR Maker, Even Heat Ovens, Pop's Knife Supplies, Phoenix Abrasives, and put in Templars 10 at checkout to get 10% off your order. Broadback, very proud to have Broadback Ironworks on with us. And Kyle, thank you I know you did a little work behind the scenes, letting them know to go out and see that opportunity, and you brought that one home. You get an extra hamburger this year, buddy. New Jersey Steel Bearing, Clark Iron Forge, and of course Kyle Daly and his 678 knives. That's our sponsors, guys. You can hear us on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcast, YouTube Music, Anchor, Amazon, YouTube Video, Castbox, and again, the knivestemplars.com. Guys, this is the part where we say goodnight and oinky, oinky, oinky. And Kyle's going to say?
I wanted to give one last thing. If you're up in the Minnesota area, the September 26th and 27th is the Twin Cities Knife Show up there in Bloomington at the Army National Guard Armory. So there's 40 different tables of vendors.
Yeah.
So if you're up in the Bloomington, Minnesota area, definitely give that a shot. There's going to be a lot of good makers there. Or actually, I think there were 60 tables.
Be there. Don't miss it. It's a beautiful country to be in. Go up and have a good time. Get you some of that fancy liquor that Eric says you may have to. I think you get that in Wisconsin, but on your way up, pick you up a bottle of that. What is that stuff called?
The stuff that I had at Blade Show?
The stinky liquor?
That's Chicago.
That's Chicago?
That's Jepson's Malort.
Oh, stop in Chicago and get some Jepson's Malort. There you go.
Or not.
Or not.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
Brought to you by PORKHouse Productions. Oinky, oinky, oinky.
That's a wrap. Hey, at Tannehill this past weekend, I was talking, and Josh and Mark were saying, what if we did 1.5 shows? Yeah, I don't know. I don't care. I guess I didn't tell you all that up front. We're at 1 hour and 43 minutes, and then we can talk for a little while. 2 hours and 20 minutes is a long time. And I looked at your shows, Kyle, and y'all do some long shows too. It's like talking.
Yeah, most of ours are easily over 2 hours.
Yeah. So I say to everybody tonight, if you want the extra 20 minutes or longer, let us know. I don't mind doing 2 hours. I just did a short one tonight just to kind of get an idea for it.
If you want a really long show that was really good, the Edge and Flow podcast with TJ Schwartz and Lucas Burnley, they interviewed Ernest Emerson. from Emerson Knives, and boy, does that guy have a lot of knife knowledge, starting out stuff. That one was like a little over 3 hours.
Oh, wow.
They're planning on doing a part 2 or 3. We're going to be recording with Ernest in a couple of weeks also. So
good for you.
Going to try to hit up some spots maybe that he didn't quite talk about on that one. And
well, the other part is I've got to go downstairs. It's 8:44 here, so is that right? Is it 8:44?
26.
It's 8:26 here. Excuse me. I was looking at how long we've been recording. Is hour. 44.
I was like, I don't know if that's how time zones work.
We're all in the same time zone.
My
are you
love.
in a half?
we're at the quarter ahead of you or behind you or something. A quarter ahead of you while being east of you. So the wife and I have a little discussion to have tonight about our future and not together. We love each other dearly. I don't want to sound bad. About opportunities that we have, and so I didn't want to rush that because I got to make some phone calls tomorrow based on that and give us an opportunity to talk about it. About it.
We'll be praying for you.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be fine. The good news is, they've got a Tandy Leather not too far down the street from the place that we've talked about offline. So, there's benefits. There's other benefits. So we'll just have to wait and see. But God has a plan for us all. That's for sure. And this group is testament of that for sure. We're all special people.
Oh yeah.
Well, guys, you got anything else to say before we jump off?
No,
not really. No, we covered a lot, and this is fun.
It's a blessing to have you back, Eric, because I know you've gotten very busy with your job change when you left your previous job and came to this one, and then you did your full-time making and adjusting to that, and life's full of adjustments. So you are a dear and one of my first knife making friends. You were the guy that first ignored me when I was going, hey, would you be interested in a knife podcast? And eventually I got your ear, but you had a lot going on with everything at the time, and I was new to you. So you were my very first knife making podcast buddy. So it's such a blessing to have you back here. You can move to North Alabama. I'm not moving to Texas. You can move to North Alabama if you want.
Great. And I just have been trying to stay relevant and stay in this community as much as I can, and trying to find my spot within the things that I do. Because me personally, I just want to teach.
Yeah. And and our interest comes and goes. Sometimes you have to take a little break from knife making, whether it's a couple weeks or this, that, and the other, or longer or less. I know that even, Kyle, you've got a lot of knife mates, and you go off to making some tools for a while or doing the engineering a little bit and this, that, and the other. So it's nice it's nice to be able to fluctuate around, take a little break here and give our minds a rest. You know what I pray for? I would love for, if you're listening, and I don't know if he is or not, Pinto, whenever you want to come back, you just let us know you're coming back, because we always have a place for Pinto, Otis here, Pinto. He's one of our buddies out there.
Yep.
So good man. I've seen some knives he's been posting occasionally, and man's makes beautiful knives. If I could say anybody influenced me, it wasn't the ABS style knife. It was Otis Pinto style knives. And when I made my first knives, I actually used an Otis pattern to make my first one. So it really wasn't. I think his knives kind of followed that, but he didn't get his from ABS. He got his from what he says is his master trainer down in Brazil. Yeah. So there you go. Well, guys, we will be back with you in a couple weeks. And when we are back, we will have some more exciting stories to tell. I must encourage you to go out and listen to our sister podcast. They are the sister, we're the brother. And that is the Knife Perspective, because I listen to them, everyone that comes out, and technically and different flow, just funny guys, also very, very informative guys. Go out and listen to the Knife Perspective on your favorite podcast app. And more importantly, go out and listen to Bigfoot and Beyond with Cliff and Bobo. New episode every week. Learn more about Bigfoot. You guys have a good evening, and we will talk to you on the next Knives Templars. Good night.
Good night. Oinky, oinky, oinky.
Oinky, oinky, oinky.